Your life living in the same cheap house for 15 years. It is 6:14 in the morning. You are standing in your kitchen with a cup of coffee. You don't need to rush. The linoleum near the sink has the same small peel it had in 2011. You never fixed it. You thought about it every year and then didn't. The countertops are the same shade of beige they were the day you signed the papers. The cabinet above the stove still sticks a little. You open your phone. Not to check messages. You open Zillow. The estimate loads, $612,400. You bought this house for $187,000. Your remaining mortgage balance is $41,200. You close the app. You finish your coffee. You don't tell anyone. This is the story of 15 years of people thinking they understood what they were looking at. 2011. You are 31. The neighborhood isn't the one you imagined. The lot is narrow. The square footage is 1,450. Your spouse walks through the rooms twice and says, "It's temporary," and you don't disagree out loud. The inspector finds a crack in the downspout. You close anyway. 3 months later, Derek buys a new construction 4-bedroom 6 miles east. Open floor plan. 2-car garage. He sends photos in the group chat. The island in the kitchen is 9 feet long. You don't know it yet, but Derek has put $18,500 down on a $412 Zoo Zone home. You have put $37,400 down on your $187,000 home. You don't do the math out loud. You just start sending an extra $200 a month toward the principal. You set up the automatic payment at 11:43 on a Sunday night and don't mention it to anyone. 2013. You are 33. The neighborhood association sends a newsletter about curb appeal. Someone on your street puts in a new driveway. Another installs a pergola. Derek has finished a deck, stained cedar, recessed lighting, and posts a photo with 15 people standing on it, holding drinks. The caption says, "Finally feels like home." Everyone in your social circle is renovating something. The number they talk about most is $15,000. Kitchen, bathroom, sunroom. It's always roughly $15,000. The way they say it. $15. 00 sounds like the minimum cost of belonging to this stage of life. You sit with that number for a while. You open a brokerage account and put $14, $800 in it. Not all at once. Slowly. The market is returning from 2009. The S&P has tripled off its 2009 floor, and everyone still assumes it's temporary, that the floor will drop again, that this is false optimism. Nobody thinks it will last. That assumption is doing a lot of work for the people who won't act on it. You don't know if it will last either. You put the money in anyway. Someone at a dinner party asks if you're planning to update the kitchen. You say, "Not the right time." They nod like they understand something about your finances. They assume constraint. They assume you'd do it if you could. They don't know you could. You just aren't. 2015. You are 35. You have 2 kids now. They share a room. Your mother-in-law visits in March and looks at the carpet in the hallway without saying anything. That silence is louder than anything she could have said. Friends start the question with, "Aren't you cramped?" Not unkindly. They mean it as concern. You understand they are measuring their space against yours and finding you lacking. You refinance the mortgage to a 15-year fixed at 3.4%. Your monthly payment goes up by $280. You cancel the vacation you'd half planned. You don't explain the refinance to anyone. Derek, that same year, pulls $40,000 from his home equity line of credit to fund a sunroom renovation. He describes it as putting equity to work. You don't know it yet, but he will refinance the entire mortgage 18 months later to consolidate the debt. You don't know, and you don't ask. You just pay the higher payment and go to bed. 2018. You are 38. It is a Tuesday at 11:07 p.m. Your kids are asleep. You are on the kitchen floor with your back against the cabinets and your phone in your hand, and you open Zillow the way other people open social media without deciding to. The estimate says $267,000. Your mortgage balance is $118,400. Your equity is $148,600. You also open your brokerage account. The S&P 500 is up 14% that year. The account balance is $61,300. That is the $14,800 from 2013, plus $300 a month for 5 years, plus what the market did with it while you weren't watching. 7 years ago, that money would have become a sunroom. Instead, it became this. You sit with that for a moment. Not pride, something quieter than that. You close both apps. You do not wake your spouse. You go to bed. At a company happy hour 2 weeks later, a colleague mentions you're still in that starter home and laughs a little. Not cruelly. He just assumes. You look at him and nod. You don't know it yet, but he is carrying $330,000 in mortgage debt on a house worth $340,000. His equity is $10,000. His car payment is $780 a month. He has a kitchen with quartz countertops and no money behind it. You drive home in the same 2014 Civic you've had since before the refi. The payment on it is 0. 2021. You are 41. The pandemic does something strange to house prices. Everything goes up. Everyone's Zillow estimate climbs. Derek texts you in September, "Bro, you should sell now. Market's insane." You read the message at the dinner table. You put the phone face down and pass the bread. Your house is estimated at $374,000. Derek's house, same general area. Newer build is estimated at $448,000. He is excited. He is also carrying the HELOC from the sunroom, the consolidated refi from 2016, and a second HELOC he pulled for a kitchen remodel in 2019. His equity stake in the house is after the debt roughly $88,000. Yours is $223,000. Plus the brokerage account, which is now at $141,600. You don't cash out. You don't refinance for liquidity. You text Derek back the next morning. "We're staying." 2 words. He replies with a shrug emoji. Nobody in your life thinks you made the right call. 2024. You are 44. Derek lists the house in March. Property taxes have climbed. The HELOC rate adjusted. 2 kids in private school. He needs to move. He gets $489,000 for it. He walks away with $61,000 after fees, the outstanding HELOC balance, and the mortgage payoff. He texts the group chat. Finally cashed out, time to upgrade. 11 people react with a fire emoji. You react with a thumbs up. You don't mention that your mortgage balance is $52,000. You don't mention that the Zillow estimate on your house is $598,000. You don't mention the brokerage account, which is now sitting at $198,700 after a decade of consistent monthly additions and a market that rewarded patience more than cleverness. You just reply, "Nice. Derek made $61,000 on 13 years in a house." You are sitting on more than 6 times that in equity alone, and you haven't sold anything. According to the National Association of Realtors, the typical homeowner who stayed in a median-priced house for 10 years built $176,000 in equity during that window. That number doesn't include what they didn't spend on renovations. It doesn't include what those unspent dollars compounded into somewhere else. The Federal Reserve's most recent survey of consumer finances found that the median homeowner's net worth is $430,000. The median renter's is $10,000. 43 times. The gap didn't appear from nowhere. It accreted quietly over thousands of Tuesday nights when someone paid the mortgage instead of the monthly minimum on a HELOC. Derek built equity too. He just borrowed faster than it grew. 2026. You are 46. The coffee is the same brand you've had for years. The linoleum still peels at the same corner. The cabinet above the stove still sticks. You open the phone. $612,400. Mortgage balance. $41,200. 14 months from payoff. Equity in the house. $571,200. Brokerage account. $218,400. Combined, $789,600. You didn't inherit money. You didn't sell a company. You didn't flip anything. You bought a house people called a starter home, and you never left it. You paid it down while everyone around you pulled cash out. You skipped the renovations that were really performances. You drove the same car while your colleagues leased new ones every 3 years. Nobody threw you a party. There was no moment when people stopped and said we were wrong about you. There was no reversal anyone could see. The house looks exactly the same as it did in 2011. That was always the point. Somewhere right now, someone is standing in a model home for a new construction they can almost afford. The countertops are quartz. The ceilings are 10 feet. The salesperson is explaining the incentives. The financing feels manageable on paper. And somewhere nearby, a smaller house, older, narrower, with a driveway that needs work and linoleum that peels at one corner near the sink, is sitting on the market for $140,000 less, and nobody is standing in it the way they're standing in this one. They think the choice is about square footage. It isn't. It's about who compounds and who performs. It's about which ledger you're actually building, the one that's visible to everyone at the dinner party, or the one you check alone at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. Most people never figure out that those are two different things. The house doesn't care what your friends think of it. It just keeps building equity. If this is the math nobody talks about, subscribe. There's more where this came from.